folks.
Heyo.
We're here.
Rotator.
The Pedal Party. I'm Chance.
I'm Kogan.
And we're about to take you into the deep.
The deep what?
The deep caverns. What we're talking about is space.
Nice.
Spatial reasoning. Space. The final frontier.
Final frontier.
We have today the Keeley Caverns pedal.
This looks awesome.
It looks great. It has one side that is a delay and one side that is a reverb.
Ooh.
And there are lots of knobbies. There are 8 knobs on this thing.
Wow.
2 finger switches and 2 foot switches.
And it's in a pretty small box for two
Yeah.
reverb and delay happening.
Yeah.
Now this is this like a rebrand of this pedal? Because I know there used to be one called Caverns that looked different than this.
Really, I cannot comment on that because I do not know.
Well,
I was brought in to
I'm
do
sure we can find out.
YouTube demo, and that's all I know about it. Let's just talk about what we got.
Okay, yeah, because I'm trying to figure this guitar out. This is a Paul
Reed
Smith
Hollow
Hollow
Body
Body 2 on loan to us from the wonderful and marvelous Timothy Davidson.
Yeah, it's one of the most beautiful.
What's up, Timmy? Oh yeah, this thing's crazy.
One of the most beautiful pieces of woodworking I've ever seen in my life.
Flame top, flame back,
The binding.
flame binding,
It's got flame in between, I think.
and the neck is rosewood or
beautiful
ebony,
rosewood.
something. I don't know. It's awesome. It looks.
It's amazing.
Beautiful. Very light too. I like that. And it's got a. I don't know what this means, but it's 58-15 pickups. So maybe that's like there.
Well, there you go.
Something another. Anyways, the less. I don't. It's less of a looker, but it sounds amazing.
The working man model.
Yeah.
I got a Fender Telly. It's a 92
1992 Telecaster.
USA Telly with a TBX tone control. It sounds good. It sounds like America. I can't play it, but imagine if I could.
I can't remember that. Was that Chinatown?
No. It was like a weird Christian song I learned in middle school.
Well, that's like almost the same riff. I don't know what key that's in now. Anyways, I feel like we're just maybe having too much fun here at the top.
Amp is a Marshall Bluesbreaker JTM 45 from what year?
1999 reissue.
Gosh, the 90s. They were so good to us.
Come on now.
Okay, let's just start with a delay. We're going to start as noon as we can get. Here are the knobs, which are mini.
So are we going to go one side at a time? Or we're just kind of going to like go for it? What do you think?
I kind of thought about doing noon per side.
Okay, I like it.
And then maybe we can start to
play
yeah.
around. Just see where it takes us. You know what I mean? I feel like we're going to be inspired.
Yeah, this is going to very much be, what do I feel in the now? We have the delay side with blend at noon, time at noon, repeats at noon, rate at noon, and then there's like a mod switch. If I'm going to go noon, I would put that on.
What does that say?
Oh, okay, wait a minute.
Put your glasses on. I can't see it either.
Yeah, this is actually kind of counterintuitive. All the way to the left is off, middle is deep, and right is light.
Ooh.
I feel like to the right would be the noon of the 3 options.
Yes.
Off, light, and deep. Light would be right.
Yeah.
So
well, let's see what it sounds like.
here's clean.
Oh,
Gosh, I feel like
that.
I feel like I'm just ready to rock and roll.
Ooh.
So it has a really
It's kind of analog-y.
a
very
really
dark.
nice natural kind of degradation on the decays. Big fan of that.
So everything's pretty standard. Let's see if we can dial in some. So we got blend at noon. Let's get a little bit longer delay here. I like it. It kind of reminds me of a DM2 sort of a feel.
Okay, yeah.
Like very dark,
Dark but
kind of
very natural.
warm, not digital sounding at all. Here's the PRS. I'm going to tune it.
You can go ahead and tune it. Well, and while you do, I will say
There it is. Always the G string.
always the J string. So far, the Caverns is like it allows the first sound, the presence of the original instrument to really come through, and then will degrade the repeats appropriately. So that's cool.
It's almost got like a little like overdrive sort of feel on the.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think that it sort of mimics like a tape
Oh, I got you.
deterioration. There you go.
Oh, okay. So the blend is not a wet dry; it's just wet.
Oh,
So
wow.
if I
so that's
dime
wet
the
off.
blend,
Gotcha.
I'm still getting dry, but I'm just getting a heavier.
Interesting.
I really like that actually. There it is.
Yeah.
Like chorusy sort of.
Yeah. So I think we have explored the light modulation sound well, and it does very well from low repeats to high presence and low presence. I kind of want to hit that deep.
Let's hit the deep
mod and just kind of see what happens.
I turned the rate up all the way.
That has a good...
Oh, God, that's going to sound crazy.
I feel like it takes an appropriate amount of time to get to that decay. So... Okay. All right.
So here's the rate off, or all the way down.
I can still hear it.
They ain't messing around with that. What are you looking for? Yeah, it's like... So, okay. Let's go to the light for a second. And then deep. Ooh. And then off. Deep. Light. Big difference.
Yeah, each has its own very distinct. It's almost like... So with the modulation, you might be confused because normally when in the digital world, when we think of modulation, we think of 0 being no change of the replication of sound. Mm-hmm. That's not what this is. Off is like kind of like a tape level degradation of sound.
Uh-huh.
And then light is adding modulation to it, and then heavy is adding a lot of modulation.
That modulation goes down further before it comes back up.
So there's not necessarily a clean digital...
Yeah, it's definitely not digital sounding.
It's a very analog sounding pedal for sure.
Which is cool. I feel like
very cool.
When we combine the two is where the magic's going to be. But let's hit... you want to hit everything at noon on the reverb?
Yeah.
I guess we should say there's a shimmer setting, a spring setting, and a... What is that? Hall? Or modulated.
Yeah.
So this is spring. Okay.
I will say that it sounds really good. It does not sound like a natural spring reverb from the amp.
Yeah, it sounds like a spring emulator.
A spring
I like it.
Model. It sounds good, but I just want to throw out there, like, this does not sound like a 65 Deluxe Reverb spring reverb.
Let's crank the decay on it. See what happens. Ooh.
I feel like
that's like, I like that.
Is that still on spring?
Uh-huh.
So that feels like if a spring reverb tank could... God bless you.
Oh, I sneezed.
That feels like if a spring reverb tank could take up 6 or 7 rooms.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Because it still had the spring character, but it had the body of...
Yeah, it's
big space.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I like that. There's no the mod or the rate doesn't do anything on this one. Right?
Just to,
So we can find out.
I think you're right. Based on the format of the pedal, it appears to only do something on shimmer, but hit a big like E minor chord. Nope, that definitely does something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
that's more like a vibrato.
Yeah.
May I just
Go for it.
I don't know the actual like riff, but it it's that
What is that?
it's Nirvana, and it's supposed to be a chorus, but you feel how
As you are. Love Nirvana. I was actually playing. I was thinking you could play. That's half the song right there. About a girl.
but
So good.
so that has like a vibrato-y,
Yeah, that's
a
wild.
definite pitch bending. Okay, so why don't we try this shimmer mode right quick?
Okay, let's try it. Ooh. That's an interesting shimmer.
Yeah, so it's like I acknowledge that there's a lag. I think it's an appropriate amount of lag because it inhibits some of that bleed. But at the same here, I'm just going to change over because
Yeah, I want to see if the mod does anything on the shimmer.
so the decay on that,
Ooh, I like. Yeah, it goes up.
I almost feel it ascend into infinity.
That's a really cool sound. So the warmth controls. So play a chord again here. Now do it again. So
Wow.
that's controlling like the treble of the verb, and then the mod is controlling how much shimmer there is. So if we put this at noon and you play a chord, that's no mod, and then if we turn it all the way up, sorry, rate is the knob, not mod.
So it's almost like the warmth knob goes backwards, because it seemed like with no warmth in.
With it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like when you turn it up, it's less warm.
Right. So it's kind of like a cut.
Yeah,
knob.
I wonder if you just turn the warmth off, turn the rate up. That's a pretty nice shimmer because it's not super in your face. Like, I mean, we could even turn the blend down past noon, and I think we would, and maybe turn the decay all the way up. So I'm just going to roll it in with the blend knob here. That's kind of nice just sitting in the back.
Yeah, very pleasant.
It takes a lot of space up. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Mod setting. So with mod reverb. So now the rate of this, I'm assuming, is going to be the rate of. Sounds like a phaser.
It sounds like a phaser. I can hear that sweep. I was just about to say that.
Interesting.
That is really trippy.
That's cool. So maybe let's turn the decay up. We'll turn the blend down past noon a smidge. Let's turn the warmth to noon. And the rate all the way off.
I can still hear the. Ooh, that's less.
That's wild.
I still get a little bit of that like airplane taking off.
Almost a flanger.
Yeah.
So,
The movement on the mod is just very pronounced.
yeah, it's really interesting too because I wouldn't think of that sound as a mod. Usually when I think mod,
Right.
it's more of like
Yeah.
chorus reverb.
Yeah.
and I feel like the spring setting was doing that more than the modulated setting.
Right.
So what if let's combine.
So you're pretty close to where I've been using it.
Is it parallel or series, or how are these two things going together?
I'm not sure. I would assume that it would be series, but I'm actually not positive.
Yeah, because it sounds like I'm hearing the reverb like pretty. I mean the delay like pretty pronounced.
Yeah.
Okay, so turn the reverb off for a second. Now turn the reverb on. Okay, so I mean, there's definitely reverb on the delay, right? Or am I just?
Yes.
So what if I turn the blend off? Cut.
Cut.
Sounds pretty good.
to get to a spot that I had a harder time arriving to, which for a while...
This spot right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of drawing the line between the modulation settings and the shimmering and the not. So typically what I use this pedal for in the last few weeks since I've had it was... I had kind of pigeonholed it into a slapback.
Oh, interesting.
Setting. But what you had... So this is what he had going.
That is just going... The mod sounds weird by itself, the mod reverb, but it sounds awesome with the delay.
Exactly. Is when it mixes with... So just so you know, both switches are on. We have blend at about 12:30, rate at 9 o'clock, time at about 11:30, repeats at about 2:30, decay is all the way up, rate is about 10 o'clock, warmth is 9 o'clock, and blend's about 1 o'clock. And so, hold on. Okay, I thought I heard myself through the pickups. And on the delay side, the switch is all the way to the right. Oh, they're both all the way to the right.
Yeah, it's on the mod reverb and the light mod on the delay.
See, that had this setting, I never got to it by myself. Like with so many knobs, it's really hard, you know, but I never got to a place where the sweeping of that mod sound seemed to sit into the right spot with the repeats and all that. I feel like just finally right now, we're in a really good...
I feel like everything's moving just enough.
It's moving in the right places and in the right ratios.
So I wonder what happens if you turn that warmth knob up on the reverb.
Okay, let's just go to noon.
So it was at 3, or I mean at 9. So it like popped out a little bit more.
Yeah.
The sweeping does.
Up to 3 o'clock. So I lost a lot of pick attack. A lot. From...
Yeah.
And then dimed. Very spaceship. I definitely hear that phaser type of sweep, but it still sounds very
cool.
usable, very musical.
Yeah, I feel like, so what's popping out to me about this pedal so far is that I think it should just have one knob on, and like this is what it was made for. Like the giant ambient, like huge, larger than life, like wall of sound.
It's called the Caverns.
Yeah, so I guess it's in the name, and it makes sense. And let's try all of these settings. Let's pull this warmth back to 9 o'clock, and let's just flip over to the spring verb and see what that sounds like. not quite as big as the mod. Let's flip over to the shimmer.
Also, it seems like the modulation, by the way, is all going up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you heard that, but
yeah.
It's all going up. So this is what?
This is the shimmer. Same settings. I don't hate that at all.
I don't, because the shimmer's on the back end.
Yeah,
It's so
and I kind of want
subtly.
maybe a little more blend on the verb.
Okay.
So let's get to the deep mod on the delay.
Deep.
Dang.
I am honestly,
Speechless.
it's just a really good example of how you by yourself in a room with a pedal, like you and your playing style can kind of navigate to one style, and then someone else can start to mess with it, and you can come up with an entirely different like palette of sounds.
Oh yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, it's like the same thing as even I play a strat different than you play a strat different than
Absolutely, yeah.
so and so plays a strat. It's so interesting. I mean, that's like the character of the player starts to come out, which I will say this, that's an interesting thing. I don't know if we've ever really talked about pedals. Like this pedal has 8 knobs and 2 switches. It can do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But different players will use it for different things. And so, we're always trying to like figure out like what's the broadest possible of uses we can hit this for or hit this one pedal for. Anyways, I'm really digging this as like just the massive sound. And I've kind of even, I'm going to switch to the Paizo.
Paizo. Okay. All right. I am mad at it.
Oh boy. There you go. Oh yeah, this one's I'll go back to the mod and the light.
Yeah, hit it.
I was really into that sound.
That's a great. It's a great spacey placement.
Wow.
So
this is a cool pedal.
Yeah, when I first was messing with this pedal, I was trying to defy the spacey whir. But now I see that that's the beauty of it. Is just right quick. I'm gonna show you how I was using it.
Oh yeah, let's hear it. Sounds like the inside of a slushy machine.
Now,
ooh, interesting.
Imagine some drive. As a pure, I was using this as a slapback and very subtle verb engine, which I see now is not the.
Well, I just want to take tea real quick and say,
please do.
That might be the first time I've ever heard those licks on a clean guitar ever in my life. And bravo, it sounded pretty good.
That sounds like surf guitar.
It does. Yeah. It does sound like surf guitar. I kind of like that sound, though, because I can imagine with drive, it almost has like a double track / room verb sort of thing going on.
Definitely. And I was drawing fairly heavily from Paul Gilbert, who was also drawing heavily from Edward Van Halen, where it's
just enough, like one repeat,
basically like a slapback, so it doesn't feel naked in the room. Plus a little bit of lively spring.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend that I can pick
Well, I think that just speaks to the versatility of the pedal. Like, because that sound, that's totally a usable sound.
Oh, yeah.
And you're almost getting into some chorus territory there. Too much.
You've overstepped your bounds.
Too much.
I like how much of that clarity and just brightness comes through.
And then you turn up the blend and the decays, and you're
and it goes,
and you're in space. Cool pedal. We should just make a pedal that's you making that sound.
Here, let's just do this.
Oh, let's turn it all the way up.
Let's turn all the knobs all the way up. I already hear some things are happening.
Is that the amp? Oh, I wonder if it self-oscillates. I'm going to say yes. thought that was the repeat.
My ears!
Did we get that? All right, nice. Okay, let's go one notch down from that. Everything else is all the way up.
Wah, 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 wah.
Maybe let's turn the mod off. Ooh, shimmer.
Okay, so that...
Does this pedal come with a volume pedal?
It needs one. The shimmer sound, we probably could have... I'm not going to mess with it, but we probably could have dialed it in at where it would have just been like...
Oh, I can dial it in for you right now. You just take this knob and turn it all the way off.
Hit it, boy.
That's a nice sound. It's a lot of sound.
And I just heard the delays go. So it really gives you, which you do have control. I mean, you got eight knobs and 2 switches and 2 foot switches. Like you can do what you need to do, but the sound options are vast.
Good sounds in there. Let's hear that bass. There's some clean sound.
Space, the final frontier.
Well, sounds great on bass too.
Yeah, I don't know what else I could do. So
I know we haven't really talked about settings and like there's too many knobs, people. Like if you like the sound that you heard, know that you could buy this pedal and get that sound. We are running through nothing else.
yeah, and it sounds complicated, but it's like one half of the pedal is 3 settings, the other half of the pedal is 3 settings, and to be really frank, it's just like you're really picking
Turn the knobs.
Yeah, just like 2 sets of flavors, and if you can add one and one, then you can figure out what sounds we're playing with. In the words of Will Smith,
later, y'all.
Welcome to Earth. Welcome to Earth.
I'm Kogan.
And I'm Chance.
And this is Rotator.
The Pedal Party.
I don't know what that knob does.
That is the volume knob for the piezo pickup.
That is, well, when I switched to it and I turned it on, I'm still getting...
Really? Well, then, I don't know what it is, Kogan, all right?
Huh, I don't either. I'm just
Here's
going to turn them all up.
That doesn't sound like an acoustic, but it sounds good.
Yeah. It sounds like something in between.